bags that I sold, why, and most important, how not to lose money selling your bags. How to do your best to at least keep most part of the money you've spent, if not make more money than you paid for. So after selling all of my, I think over 25 to 30 bags, I couldn't remember them all. You talked here before about how I used to have a huge collection and I started getting designer bags when I was 14. So yes, I've been around. So I took the first ever suggestion from you guys about a video to make. It was in my first or second video that I ever posted here, and it took me a while to create the courage to film this because there was so many bags. So I started making a list of the bags that I remember, but I'm for sure forgetting some bags. So I'll just go with what I remember. So I'm gonna talk about some more antique bags. I wanna start with the bags that I recently sold and why, and you probably don't know about it. So recently I sold my Fendi Canai bag. It was the medium size, white, beautiful leather, like very, like almost box leather. No, not as soft as box leather, but a very, like, not grained at all, beautiful leather in white. And I thought this bag would be a nightmare to take care of. It was the best white bag that I ever had. And in the 2021 video on my bag collection, I told how I wasn't planning to sell it because it was such a great bag and the easiest white bag I've ever seen to take care of. But recently I've been following the resale market here in Brazil. I just got my first pre-owned bag. If you haven't seen it, I'll leave the link below. And it's a Hermès bag. And I've been following all the dealers. Like, I've been following like crazy. I have a list of their websites to check in every once in a while. And I follow them on Instagram. Not only I follow them on Instagram, they're the only Instagram's account that I mark as favorite. So at least once a week, I'll just go to my favorites, because now you can do that. Hopefully you know. I go to my favorites and I see everything they posted that week. So yeah, so I've been following this like crazy. And I saw that someone sold the exactly same bag, but in worse condition for a certain amount of money. Immediately, I went to check my bag because I always keep the receipts with them. I already talked about this too. And I just saw that this person sold the same bag in worse condition than mine. Mine was pristine for more than I've paid. And I bought this, I don't have it anymore, but I think it was 2016 or 17. So after I saw that, you know, it's time to maybe let go, because Fendi bags, so I checked the Fendi bags prices, they were up quite a bit since I bought this bag. The bag was absolutely amazing condition, as I said, and I knew some of my own followers wanted this. At the same time, I messaged the person who owned the second-hand platform that sold the bag and asked her if she had someone who wanted that, and she did. She said she did. I said I was going to think about it and let her know. So I remember some of my followers already talked about, oh, if you ever want to sell this bag, let me know. So I posted and I ended up selling on my Instagram. But I could easily have sold in the resale market with this girl. I just didn't because it was easier. I was going to deliver in the same city as I wouldn't have to ship to her. She would have to do authentication, whatever, even though I had the receipt, and it would take a little bit more. So yeah, first tip is watch your items that you have on the resale market and follow the price changes. I was never wanting to sell this bag, but it was time, you know. It would get too old, it would devalue too much, and I know that and at this point I want both a Chanel and an Hermès white bag, so it would eventually lose its place in my wardrobe, so it was just time. Another thing that I did was I sold recently my Bottega Veneta bag, the mini pouch in pink. So when I got this bag, also it was the beginning of Danielle Lee at Bottega. When was that? So 3 years ago, I think, maybe 4. Was the beginning, and then I got this bag, and the price was very good here in Brazil. Bottega has a very good price in Brazil, same price as abroad, where other brands tend to be double the price, and it's a problem with importation. So yeah, Bottega has a nice deal in Brazil, like not better than anywhere else, but equally everywhere else, and we tend to pay more. And so I got this bag for a very good price. I wanted it so bad. I was in love with it. I couldn't, like, I wore it in the beginning, but then I wasn't reaching for it anymore. I just thought it was too trendy, too small, it wasn't working with me. And then, you know how I've been sensing, it was in last year or this year that I sold this. It's been some months, I think this year. And you know, Bottega, the frenzy on Bottega, the craziness of Bottega, it was going down. The bag is something that I was already considering to sell. So I was like, you know what? Let's just do it before it's too late. So I actually sold this so the Fendi bag I sold after 7 or 8 years for 30% more than I paid. And then the Bottega I sold 2.5 years later that I got, or 3 maybe, I don't remember exactly, for 25% more, just because if I didn't sold at that time, I knew like in a year or 2 it would devalue. Like at the time that I sold, the girls, I couldn't find it the right color, or maybe couldn't spend that much at the time, but now they have started. I don't know, some people still wanted this bag, especially the pink one, like the bright pink one that I had, and it was very easy. I also sold this on my platform, but I could have sold it anywhere else because yes, the resale market were selling for the same price as I was. Maybe I just have to take down some commission, but I still would make more money than I would. So my second tip, then more money than I spent. So my second tip is be aware of designers coming in, like in fashion houses and coming out. The Danielle Lee area was a boom, but it also depended on him, I guess, to reinvent and stay on the top. I'm not saying that Bottega will not be so trendy again, it probably will. I'm just saying that I took the decision to sell it before the market went down. And what most people do is they sell it when the market goes down. So if you don't want to sell it while it's still hyping like I do, you must know that you have to hold on to it years and years before you can sell it. And next it comes to my jar saddle bag. And I'm not talking about this jar saddle bag. I'm talking about a bag that I have from maybe like 15, 14 years ago. I don't even know. I got this before I went for my year abroad in Canada, which I was 15 to 16. So yeah, it was like my second or third bag ever. It was the jar saddle bag, but it was not just one side. It has like the second side from the equestrian collection. I'm sure you've seen it. And that bag was a nightmare to use. I got this from my mom and dad. I didn't pick it. I loved it because at the time I was obsessed with horses, so I loved it. But it was a nightmare to wear. It is a nightmare to wear if you ever consider this bag. I know some people love the vintage ones. And it had like a zipper, and then, how can I say, the handle was like a belt. So you have the bag here, and then a belt, and the second part of the bag. Basically, when you wanted to take something out or put something in the bag, it was a nightmare. Everything would fall. So yeah, and the bag, the shape, so shapeless because you would have to stuff it to keep the shape. So when you wear it, it's just like, I don't know, it's very 90s, like very early 2000s, very messy bag. I don't love it. And so I never sold it because certainly I could sell it for like $200, $300. That would be like the top that I would get over these years. And then Dior decided to relaunch the saddlebag. Of course, totally different vibes, but I sold it. I sold it for around 2,000 USD here in Brazil, which I think that in the US I would be able to sell for 1,000 USD, so don't get too impressed. It's just that here in Brazil things tends to cost the double. So I sold it and I thought I could maybe hold on to it a little bit more and maybe try to make it be like a true vintage, but I decided not to take the risk. But if I have done it like today, so I sold this like 3 years ago or three, like just when the saddlebag, maybe more, like 5 years ago. I'm lost, guys. I'm lost. I've lost track of the years after the whole pandemic thing. I don't even remember what happened like this year or 5 years ago. I'm lost. But yeah, I sold this right when the saddlebag came in. And this week I saw a very vintage reseller here in Brazil looking for this bag, and they were to pay 3,000 USD around, like making the conversion, just because it is now like right now vintage pieces from special collections, very iconic collections, especially Louis Vuitton, Dior, Chanel, of course, always been, but like those really 90s or early 2000s, they are trending so much because some celebrities have been wearing these like crazy, like Kylie Jenner and Rihanna. So yeah, they're trending like crazy. And my sister even has like a Fendi bag, and I said, just sell it right now because you never wear it. It's been like 20 years you don't wear it. Now it's your only time to actually make money from it because it's trending. A little digression. So yeah, I could have made even more money, but I didn't. So the next tip, the third tip, like what I want you to get from this is, if you have some really vintage pieces, hold on to it. Or if your bag's like 6, 7 years, maybe 10 years, just hold on to it, because at one point it will be like in demand. So that's my third tip. My tip number 4 is a tip to myself. Some of this bag I didn't took care of it as much, and I was 14, 16, 17, I couldn't care less, and I wasn't the one paying for my bag, so maybe, and they were quite cheaper, so maybe they didn't hold the value that they do now. But the tip is simply take care of your bags, because I sold a Prada bag. There's not even a name. It was a very big bag that I would use to go to school and college later. Beige one, very big, just like Saffiano leather, beige, very beautiful, but very big. I don't know where it is like right now, and not even for traveling, because I don't know, it was not a chic bag. It's not a very hard bag like the look businesses or whatever. It was very school like bag. It was a soft leather, and the shape was like this, almost like a backpack, but it was not a backpack. It had the straps for the shoulder. So that bag was in pristine condition, except that it leaked nail polish, red nail polish inside. So inside there was like a huge bloody mark, like, yeah. And I tried to remove it professionally everywhere. It didn't. And before I tried to remove it myself, I said, you know what, I'm just gonna sell it. So this bag, I bought it in Sunbars years ago, like 15 years ago, a shop that had, you know, when like this very touristic place has a multi-brand shops. So I bought this at this shop, and thank God I paid okay for it. I paid like 1,000 and something at the time, which was the price of most bags. I know we would love to have lived at the time, some of younger you, but yeah, I did, and I wasn't as smart. So I bought it, and I think it was like very close to 1,000, and I sold it to 1,000 reais, which was 1/4 of the price that I paid at the time, at the exchange rates at the time. So at least, of course, it's been 14 years. Maybe I shouldn't even like get paid that much, but if it wasn't for this detail, I could probably get the same thing, like the same amount of money. Of course, 1,000 USD at the time is not the same value as 1,000 USD right now. Like our currencies around the world has devalued over time, inflation rates, whatever. So what I mean is, you can't buy a bag at $1,000 right now as you did in 15 years ago. I mean, at least not the same bag, but you can get other bags. But what I mean is, at least getting the same nominal price, that's a win, because most people get a smaller nominal price. So yeah, take care of your bags as much as you can, even if they are not that special, even if they are meant to be used all day. Just use it, have fun with it, enjoy it, but try to be careful, especially inside. I think outside we're always so careful, but I don't know, maybe it was just myself. Inside, yeah, quite nightmare. I think these 4 tips helps you a lot. I think I'm gonna leave it you here. I talk too much. I had actually made a list, and I came up with 18 bags that I've sold, but this is going to be long, and I didn't want just to talk about the bags that I sold. I actually want to give you like information that is useful. And yeah, let me know if you've ever sold a bag and how you did it. If you did, like, if you had you just sold it because you didn't want it, or because the price was good. What were you thinking at the time? Let me know. I really want to know, because right now I can tell you that selling bags the right way, it's almost as addictive as buying new bags. Maybe I got even like more rush from selling. Selling, guys, is better than buying. I said it. So yeah, if you didn't see my Euro trip vlogs, I want to leave you with that, just to explain why I haven't been doing the sit down videos. So I was in Europe. I'm gonna leave you with the first vlog of the trip in Paris, and then you can just follow and see me in Paris, Firenze, Florence, where I went to like an amazing wedding and a bal masqué, like a masquerade ball. The outfits, I had my moment, guys. I loved it. And then we went to Further Marmi, Porto Venere, Santa Margherita, and yes, the vlogs are there. It's fun to watch. So I'm gonna leave you there, okay? See you on the next one. Bye bye.